Few minutes ago, when the FBI finally opened Eustace Conway's hidden bunker, no one expected what they found inside. For years, rumors followed him, but the truth turned out to be far heavier than fear or suspicion. What was discovered changed how people see Eustace forever. Eustace Conway has always lived differently from most people, choosing mountains and silence over cities and comfort. His lifestyle made people admire him, but it also made them curious. When a man lives far from society, questions naturally follow him. For years, people believed they understood Eustace's life. They saw a man devoted to nature, survival, and self-reliance. But there was one thing almost no one knew about, something hidden beneath the land he loved. Deep within his property existed a bunker, built quietly over time. It was not marked, not advertised, and never mentioned openly. Eustace never spoke about it, and that silence made people uneasy. Rumors spread slowly at first, then faster. Some said the bunker was for survival, others believed it was for protection. A few even whispered that it held secrets meant to stay buried forever. Eustace never denied its existence, but he never explained it either. His refusal to talk added fuel to the speculation. Silence, once again, became his strongest shield. Those close to him noticed how protective he was of certain areas on his land. He redirected visitors, avoided questions, and changed subjects quickly. The bunker was not a place for guests. Over time, curiosity turned into suspicion. Authorities began paying attention, not because of evidence, but because unanswered questions always raise alarms. A man living off-grid with a hidden structure attracts interest. The FBI did not move quickly. They watched, observed, and waited. Eustace continued his life as usual, unaware of how closely he was being monitored. From the outside, nothing seemed unusual. He worked the land, taught others, and spoke about self-reliance. But underground, something waited in silence. When the investigation finally reached its peak, the decision was made. The bunker would be opened. Not secretly, not quietly, but officially. The moment FBI vehicles arrived, everything changed. Neighbors watched from a distance, unsure of what was about to happen. Eustace stood calm, but his eyes carried something heavy. He did not resist. He did not argue. He simply watched as the doors were prepared to be opened. For the first time, his private world faced the outside. When the bunker door finally opened, there was no smell of danger, no weapons in sight. What investigators saw first confused them. This was not what anyone expected. Inside were shelves, carefully organized, filled not with threats but with memories. Boxes labeled by hand, journals stacked neatly, and personal items arranged with purpose. There were old photographs, faded letters, and handwritten notes covering decades. The bunker felt less like a hideout and more like a time capsule. Agents moved slowly, realizing they were standing inside something deeply personal. This was not a place built for violence or escape. It was built for preservation. One corner held detailed maps, not of cities, but of forests, rivers, and trails. These were places Eustace had walked, studied, and protected. Another section contained journals written over many years. Page after page revealed thoughts he never shared publicly. They spoke of fear, responsibility, and loss. The deeper agents went, the quieter the room became. No one expected emotional weight inside a place suspected of danger. The silence felt different now. Eustace had used the bunker to store his truth. Everything he could not say out loud was kept underground. The bunker was not for hiding from the world, but from judgment. Authorities realized they were not uncovering a crime. They were uncovering a life lived in silence. And that discovery shocked everyone. As the FBI continued their inspection, the meaning of the bunker became clearer. This was not a survival shelter built out of fear. It was a place built out of memory. They found recordings, not of plans, but of reflections. Eustace had spoken to himself, recording thoughts meant only for the future, not the public. These recordings revealed moments of doubt he never showed anyone. He spoke about pressure, expectations, and the loneliness that came with his lifestyle. One journal described why the bunker was built. It was created after a period of emotional collapse he never discussed publicly. Nature helped him survive, but solitude almost broke him. The bunker became his anchor. A place where he could release emotions without being seen. A place where he could be honest without consequences. Agents also found items connected to people he lost. Letters from family, personal belongings, and reminders of relationships that shaped him. These items explained his silence better than any interview ever could. He carried grief quietly, choosing land over language to cope with pain. There was no evidence of illegal activity. No weapons. No plans of harm. Instead, there was vulnerability preserved in concrete walls. The FBI realized that the bunker was misunderstood from the start. It wasn't built to hide from law enforcement. It was built to hide from emotional exposure. When this understanding became public, reactions changed instantly. Shock turned into empathy. Suspicion turned into respect. People realized that Eustace was not hiding danger. He was hiding wounds. And those wounds were deeper than anyone imagined. The story spread quickly. Headlines changed tone. What was once fear became reflection. Society saw a man who carried emotional weight alone. Eustace finally spoke after the bunker was opened. He explained that the world expects strength without weakness. He chose silence because he believed that was safer. He said the bunker held the parts of himself he didn't know how to explain. It was easier to bury them than to speak them. His honesty resonated deeply. People realized how often silence is mistaken for mystery, and privacy mistaken for threat. The FBI officially closed the case. No wrongdoing was found. But something far more powerful was uncovered. The bunker exposed a truth about human survival that no investigation expected. Some people survive storms outside. Others survive storms inside. Eustace Conway was one of them. The bunker shocked everyone not because of what it contained, but because of what it revealed. A man who lived openly still carried hidden battles. And when those battles were finally seen, the world understood him in a way it never had before. When the FBI sealed the bunker again and left the land, the silence felt different than before. It was no longer a silence filled with suspicion or rumors. It was a silence filled with understanding, reflection, and unanswered emotions. Eustace stood on his land knowing that something irreversible had happened. His most private space was no longer only his. Even though nothing illegal was found, his inner world had been exposed. For years, he believed privacy was protection. He believed that if no one knew his deepest struggles, he could keep living without explanation. But now the truth was out, and there was no returning to the old silence. People began to see him differently. Not as a mystery, not as a threat, but as a man who carried emotional weight alone. This shift changed the way the public talked about him. Support replaced suspicion. Messages came from people who finally understood why he lived the way he did. Many said they saw their own hidden struggles reflected in his story. Eustace did not celebrate the attention. He never wanted sympathy or praise. What mattered to him was that the misunderstanding had ended. He admitted later that the bunker was never meant to be permanent. It was a temporary solution to pain he did not know how to express. Over time, it became a habit instead of a necessity. The exposure forced him to confront something he avoided for decades. He could no longer hide his emotional survival behind physical survival. The truth demanded change. He began speaking more openly, not loudly, but honestly. He talked about isolation, grief, and the danger of carrying everything alone. His words were calm, but their impact was strong. People listened because his honesty was real. There was no performance, no drama, just truth. That truth reached people who had built their own emotional bunkers. The story sparked a wider conversation. People questioned how many others live quietly with pain because society only respects strength, not vulnerability. Eustace became an example without trying to be one. He said the bunker taught him something important. Hiding pain does not make it disappear. It only delays healing. The land around him stayed the same, but something inside him changed. The weight he carried for years felt lighter now that it was no longer buried. He did not regret building the bunker. It helped him survive a time when he had no other tools. But he admitted that survival should not become a permanent state. The FBI closed the case, but the emotional chapter stayed open. This was not an ending. It was a transition. Eustace learned that strength is not proven by how much you can endure alone. Strength is proven by knowing when to let the walls come down. The bunker once shocked everyone because of secrecy. Now it shocked people because of what it revealed about being human. And long after the door was closed, the real impact continued. Not underground, but inside every person who heard the truth. After everything settled, the story of the bunker stopped being about the FBI. It stopped being about rumors or secrecy. It became a story about how people define strength and misunderstand silence. Eustace Conway realized that many people saw his quiet life as mystery instead of choice. They believed distance meant danger, when in reality it meant protection. He never wanted to hide from the world, only from judgment. The reaction from the public surprised him. Instead of fear, many people felt relief. They saw proof that even someone admired for toughness can struggle in private. This moment changed how people talked about him. He was no longer only the man of the mountains. He became a man who showed that survival is not only physical, but emotional. Eustace understood that society often praises endurance but ignores healing. People are taught to push through pain, not to process it. His story exposed the cost of that mindset. He spoke about how easy it is to build walls instead of asking for help.